Hi, Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, learning to talk still, apparently. And it's time for a weekly track roundup where I go over the tracks that dropped this past week that were hot, that were not so hot, and somewhere in between. Down there in the description box, you can find all of the songs that I talk about in this video linked. You can check them out for yourself. And also we have down there a link to our wonderful sponsor, forever, the good people over at The Ridge. They make these awesome, nifty, metal-plated, minimalist wallets that fit nicely in your front pocket. Still rocking mine. Still loving mine. This is a fresh one over here, one of their newer designs. And you should absolutely check out that link down below and use promo code MELON for 10% off of your order. And also down there, we have our Turntable Lab link. We get kickback from that. Our Patreon page, where you can get some awesome bonus monthly content, access to our Discord community too, and our newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter as well. Our weekly newsletter, where we drop in all the content we put out from week to week. Don't miss a single thing that we do, because sometimes YouTube isn't the best mechanism. And hey, we're like everywhere now. We're on TikTok, we're on Twitch, we're everywhere. We're everywhere. So check out the newsletter. All right, here we go. Worst tracks of the week. We have a few, starting with Ba-Bam. This new one from Future and Moneybagg Yo, Hard for the Next. It's a pretty weak one, in my opinion, one of Future's worst vocal performances. I mean, I've heard him sing in this horrible nasally tone for multiple tracks for years. Sometimes he leans on it, sometimes he doesn't. This is just one of those moments where he does, and it's not that great of a track. Here we go. Next one, not really all that crazy about this new Kenny Mason track, sadly, even though I have been anticipating this record a little bit. Play Ball is the name of this track, and it's just a really weak fusion of rock and hip-hop. There have been a lot of artists doing this kind of thing as of late, especially individuals like Gene Dawson, who are doing a great job, mind you. But I feel like this is a pretty bland attempt at trying to pull off a similar vibe. And then we have, of course, this new one over here from Lil Mosey, Lil Tecca, and Internet Money, Jet Ski. It's a completely heartless and forgettable mellow trap snoozer, in my opinion. All right, let's move on to the tracks that I thought were meh, not blowing me away, but certainly worth a nod and worth some attention. We have a new one over here from young Dolph, as well as Key Glock. It's really titled Penguins. It's a I don't know, kind of a really tense, fun little trap cut, almost in the vein of like a Gucci Mane's Lemonade, but with a more atmospheric, modern trap vibe to it. Give it a listen. It's not too bad. All right, we have a new one from Taylor Swift, coming from the vault over here. You All Over Me. This is going to be on the re-recording of her soon-to-be released Fearless record, as she has now gotten the rights to kind of redo all of those records and benefit off of them monetarily for herself. I really did love the last single and taster teaser from this record, but now what's kind of being teased and promoted is that, there's going to be like extras. There's going to be songs that are sort of from that era and were left on the cutting room floor, and now we're going to be hearing them re-recorded and sort of realized for the first time. And I don't know, I'm sort of on the fence with this track over here. While it does sound nice, it's got a pristine instrumental and mix to it. Taylor vocally sounds fine. I guess I'm just not really that into the song, which is a very low-key, somewhat drab, very pristine country ballad, I guess. It's just okay. Frankly, I guess I'm more excited to hear what the core songs of the album are going to sound like once we finally hear the new version of the record. And if it's anything like the last single that dropped, it's probably going to be a slight modernized improvement that is pretty faithful to the original form. But hey, I'm sure the hardcore fans are going to love listening to these extras for sure. All right, moving on from there, we have a new one from Shelley, FKA DRAM, Cooking with Grease. It is a low-key, sensual soul cut. Not as hard-hitting as his last single, but still a pretty sweet on the ears and continues to establish, I think, I don't know, I guess a more serious tone for his sound and his style. It'll be interesting to see how he, grows into this new direction that he's setting out for himself with this name change and the new record. All right, we have another cover from this forthcoming covers album version of Sharon Van Etten's beloved SVE record. This one featuring Shamir, the track D Sharp G. I think Shamir does a great great job on the track vocally. But the song itself is kind of one-dimensional, which this has never been one of my favorite tracks off the record. So I guess, that's probably a big reason as to why I'm not too crazy about this version, regardless of who is doing it. But, still, I do have to give props to Shamir on doing a great job vocally on this one. All right, we have a new one from Royal Blood over here. Limbo, funny enough, this track sort of sounds like a dancey, old school Death from Above 1979 cut. Being sort of a drum and bass duo, this band has always kind of gotten those DFA comparisons, but I feel like they really do sound like DFA on this new track over here. It's got a bit of a slog of an outro though, but still, it's pretty cool for what it is, I suppose. All right, we have a couple of new tracks from Miguel. He's dropped a bunch of singles back to back to back. I'd like to point out this one called Party Life, though. I think it's got a good tune at the core of it, great dance beat, solid vocal performance, but the vocals are not mixed all that well. In fact, I think the track has a bit of a rough sound to it that I don't think is too complimentary, honestly. The lo-fi thing, the muddy mix thing can work in some contexts and with some artists, but I don't think for Miguel and for this particular track, it does it all that much justice. I think it kind of makes it sound more underwhelming than it actually is. We have a new one also from Iglooghost over here, Big Protector, electronic music artist that I have been covering for a little while, and his new stuff as of late just seems to kind of be drifting away from the beats, be drifting away from the more, aggressive and rhythmic sounds that have, defined the earlier parts of his discography. And he's just getting way more spacey and mystical, almost like Bjork influenced. I mean, I think big fans of Vespertine will kind of dig on this stuff. I mean, structurally, I wish it was a little more well-defined, didn't feel so amorphous in a way, but it's still got a pretty pleasant sound while it's on, and it's certainly wondrous. I can't think of anybody who, any producers in, Iglooghost lane that are sounding quite as wondrous as, he is right now at this moment. All right, we have another track from the forthcoming Iceage album. Shelter Song is the title of this one, and it's not bad. It's probably not the best teaser of this record so far. It's a slow burner. Maybe it'll grow on me as I hear the entire record, but honestly, it kind of reminds me of one of those slow, swaying, lighter in the air, Rolling Stones, kind of big gargantuan rock ballads, but, delivered in that very messy, slovenly, kind of all over the place, almost like a water sloshing violently in a container. Has that Iceage quality to it that I've sort of expected from the band over the years. Again, not my favorite teaser from the record so far, but not bad, and still looking forward to the album for sure. All right, we have a new one from Hobson over here, a pretty self-aware number from him where he's kind of, going at himself with a lot of self-criticisms about his trajectory and his audience and his success in his personal life. I mean, it doesn't have the best hook or anything, but, it's certainly got some food for thought, I guess, and shows quite a bit of awareness on his part. Alone with Me is the title of the track. If you're not a Hobson fan, it's probably not going to convince you, but I did like the last teaser he put out. This one I thought was okay. Maybe he's turning a slightly new leaf, or, you know what I'm saying. We'll see. All right, we have another one from Haru Nemuri over here, who continues to drop the tracks. This one over here, I think, has a bit of a patience testing intro, but God, the visceral wall of guitars and vocals that hit on the back end of the track is certainly a cathartic moment on the song. Inori Dake ga Aru is the title of the song. And hey, if you're a big fan of art rock and noise rock and J-rock, you should most definitely check out Haru's stuff if you have not. Her last record, I think, Even the one before, not just Love Theism, but the one before that, I think is easily one of the best rock records of the 2010s. Get into her stuff. Highly recommend it. All right, we have a new one from Guppy over here, which is, not too bad. What's Known Now? It's quite a banger. It's got a lot of very hyper, bubbly, aggressively percussive sounds packed throughout, though there are some passages in the second half that frankly are a little difficult to listen to because they get so pitchy and they get so harsh. It's maybe a little too deafening. I think the blow could be softened a little bit mix-wise on this one, but it's still worth a try, for anybody who's unfamiliar with the Guppy's work. And we have a new one from Demi Lovato, Dancing with the Devil. I'll say production-wise, it's a little overblown, but I do think it is a compelling song. I think vocally it's a great performance from Demi. And I do like the lyrics on this one. Essentially about look, if you're familiar with Demi Lovato's history, you know the line that she's walked in terms of addiction. And, she kind of goes into exactly that on this song, kind of getting close to that, flirting with, making bad decisions, falling back into that pattern. But sort of likening that to dancing with the devil. And again, while I will say I don't think it's the most flattering instrumental because it is so touched up it feels nearly soulless, I do think the tune is very good, and I think she kills it on the vocal end. I think it's a really impassioned vocal performance. So, regardless of how much of a stickler I am for the production, those things about the track really are saving graces. All right, we have a new one from Cannibal Corpse over here, death metal band extraordinaire. Murderous Rampage is the name of the track, and while it is nothing super new for Cannibal Corpse, I will say the song to me came off refreshingly thrashy. There are some very fast, very aggressive, very nimble and peppy guitar riffs all over this thing. The band really hits a fast pace on this one. Check it out. It's not a bad death metal cut. All right, and let's move into the tracks that I thought were the best this week, the ones that really blew me away or grabbed my attention. They were, ba-bam, new one from Princess Nokia. It's Not My Fault. It's a banger with a southern flair. It's got that 1992 deluxe kind of rough rawness to it that I like quite a bit. It'll be interesting to see what Nokia ends up doing on this new record of hers, and really kind of digging the 2000s pop diva, J-Lo, futuristic, almost like TLC kind of aesthetic for this cover art over here. We've also got a McCartney reimagined, another taste of that. We have Beck getting in on the action over here with the track Find My Way, and it's a very funky, tongue-in-cheek version of that song that I thought was quite good. All right, we also have a new one from Natalia LaForcade. It's a 9-minute multi-phased monster, Alfonsina e El Mar, and it is a beautiful acoustic cut with flamenco vibes from front to back, and it's, again, gorgeous, beautiful. Give it a listen. We also have Lil Nas X, Montero. He's here with his brand new single that's been getting teased again and again and again, and the music video and the Nike shoes, and everybody's melting the fuck down. The sky is falling, the world is ending, da 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 da. But look, at the end of the day, I think it's a pretty great track. It's very short, it's very direct, it's very to the point, just like his holiday single was recently. But I was kind of underwhelmed by how basic the vocals were on that track and how simple the production was. However, the beat on this one, the instrumental, is actually quite intricate, layered, full of flavor and personality. I like the subtle flamenco and Latin pop influences that are kind of weaving in and out of the beat. The vocal harmonies, especially kind of the deep devilish ones that are popping up here and there on the track, are pretty interesting. And the more I dive into the lyrics on the song, it seems like a very lusty, intense tale of sex and attraction, and also kind of finding yourself and understanding yourself in light of this very turbulent time in your life. Finding yourself through fame, your sexuality, so on and so forth. So it's quite a bit. It's kind of heavy, I think, and a song that I think says a lot about him personally, despite being as simple and as straightforward as it is. And, I think since Lil Nas X put out, that EP that dropped a while back and then came out after it, I feel like now that he has a new single and a new album cycle going, he's really like trying to own that part of his, individuality. And it's coming out in his art in very bold ways, which I think is just rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, frankly. But yeah, still, at the end of the day, I'm digging the track quite a bit. All right, here we go. New one from Gojira. I'm actually really psyched for this new record, guys. I think this might, be shaping up to be one of the band's best in years. The riffs on this were killer. The numerous phases were great, and the drum work was awesome too. Just a really cool, progressive, sludgy track that just kicks ass from front to back. All right, we have a one also from Girl IRL, an artist that I was introduced to through a stream we recently did over on Twitch, twitch.tv/theneedledrop. Every few weeks or so, we're trying to do some reviewing your music streams for the subscribers on the page, and just try to get more in touch with the talent that's in the community. And this is a really cool, forward-thinking, fusion of industrial hip hop and pop and hyper pop and bubblegum bass and huge Sophie influence as well. But it's a little difficult to categorize, but let me tell you, it hits hard, and the production is absolutely nuts, and the deadpan rap vocals itch at my psyche too. So give this one a listen, give it a spin. It's linked down below with everything else. We also have Brockhampton. The Brockhampton boys are back with a new one, BUZZCUT. God, love the siren beat, the banging drums. That shouty first verse is quite compelling. The group vocals are awesome. The R&B outro is fantastic. And the Danny Brown feature is bold as fuck. I'm loving this. I hope every single song on this new record hits this fucking hard. Because at that point, it'll be like, Brockhampton's back. It's really going to feel like it too. All right, we have also who's back, Black Midi. John L. is the name of this new track. And I feel like the band has totally transcended like the post-punk category at this point. This is some weird experimental fucking jazz rock is what this is, with totally whacked out spoken word vocals. And the riffs and melodies are absolutely insane. Jesus Christ, this band is on another goddamn planet. And honestly, I wish more bands were. God bless Black Midi. God bless them. All right, we have a Bill Wurtz, I'm a Princess, brand new track from him. It is quirky, it is hilarious, it is intricate, it is divine. It is Bill Wurtz. That is everything that Bill Wurtz is. I'm hoping all these tracks are teasing toward a new record. That would be fantastic. And we have a new one from Baauer, Banger Wizard. Baauer, Omega Sapien is also on the track. And I'm going to fail at pronouncing this. DDOKBOKKI is the name of the track. And it's a hard-hitting, almost like EDM and hip-hop fusion. Some in chat when we listened to it on Twitch likened it to Injury Reserve. And it does have a little bit of an Injury Reserve vibe to it if, again, you had sort of more aggressive electronic beats kind of woven into it. Give it a try. And that is the end of the weekly track roundup, everyone. Hopefully you got some good recommendations out of this video. You're the best. Love you. Again, all the tracks I talked about linked down below, along with our sponsor and everything else, Turntable Lab and Patreon and all that. And thank you very much for watching. Mwah! Forever.